This is what Olympian Chris Master sees on his luge.
We basically go on these Formula One race sleds, 90 miles an hour down a sheet of ice.
In skeleton world championships.
This is Olympian Katie Eulander in a skeleton race.
Basically like jumping on top of a cookie sheet and using your body to go as fast as possible.
This is Olympian Kevin Bickner on a ski jump.
So at the top of the hill, I'm really just thinking about the things that my coaches told me moments before.
3 U.S. athletes pursuing gold in Beijing during the coronavirus pandemic that, like them, refuses to quit.
So you have to make sure you're getting the right test. So yeah, it's definitely a logistical headache at times.
To avoid losing focus, the U.S. luge team hired a COVID liaison to keep track of vaccinations, tests, and masks, all mandatory. A year ago, Olympic organizers in China held a testing event to show the athletes what they will face when they land in Beijing for the real competition.
They tested every day. Every person that we interacted with essentially was wearing a hazmat suit unless they did a 3-week quarantine to be able to interact with us. And we're still wearing masks.
Ahead of the games, athletes dealt with closed gyms and income losses from canceled tournaments. Eulander, who only had audio available when we spoke to her while traveling to Beijing, says she took a job as an assistant arborist to stay fit.
So I'd pull trees over, and then when he would cut them down, I'd move all the logs. And it was a great substitute for the weight room and just general fitness. And plus, I got to be out in the woods, which is one of my favorite places to be.
Bickner says he looks forward to landing in Beijing, and once inside the Olympic bubble, seeing no one except the other COVID-tested athletes.
I don't think anyone is going to be spreading COVID around the village, and so I'm not going to be too worried about it once I'm there. It'll be definitely a bit of relief.
Much like last year's Summer Games in Tokyo, no spectators will be allowed in the stands in Beijing. That means Master's wife and 9-month-old stay home. Eulander's family can't cheer her to a women's record as she competes in her 5th Winter Olympics. And Bickner's parents won't see him in his 2nd Olympics. Even so, these athletes are keeping their eyes on one thing.
Going for the gold.
Carolyn Presutti, VOA News, Washington.